So sleep issues and fatigue are very common with young onset Parkinson's, and it's really important that you take those steps to be able to get as much rest as possible. So sometimes it's good to break your sleep if it's difficult for you to sleep at night, to make sure that you have time in the afternoon, that you also recharge your batteries as well. Sleeping separately, sometimes is just the best course of action, because each person can then have a good sleep and are able to come together when you're in your waking hours and feeling a lot more energized. So when you're trying to navigate intimacy and creating a sexual relationship or an intimate relationship, when you've got sleep difficulties and you're sleeping separately, make sure that you try and create some romantic rituals, like hopping into bed for a cuddle in the morning, or making sure that you don't leave sex for the last thing at night when you've got no energy. Monitoring when your medication is at its most effective and when your symptoms are at their most mild, and maybe taking steps to schedule intimacy and sex at those times. So there's a common myth around spontaneous sex being the best kind of sex, and the majority of people that I see, spontaneous sex doesn't work that well unless you're a teenager with no commitments and you're on holidays and got plenty of time on your hands. And for most people that are navigating busy lives or health conditions or children and families, it means that spontaneous sex is kind of impossible. So the idea that planning something, and some people think that that's kind of tragic, oh my God, it's come to this, but in actual fact it's a way that you can create really nice sexual experiences based around things that work, and navigating those things that get in the way. There are all sorts of ways that we can plan ahead, just as we plan ahead to create fantastic holidays or events, that we can plan ahead to create great sexual experiences. And some of the things that might get in the way, you might be particularly rigid today, or you might have a bad tremor today, so you might be able to choose a different kind of style of sex, or a different flavour for your sex that will suit those conditions. It might be more around connecting and relaxing, it might be more erotic stuff, but we have to kind of work with the body that we have and where our mind's at, and that's any person, not just people that have young onset Parkinson's. If you are someone that struggles with sleep and fatigue, mindfulness and exercise can be a really great way. There are all sorts of sleep tips, things like not using a blue screen an hour before you go to bed, going to bed at the same time, waking at the same time if you possibly can. Ideally trying not to get too medication reliant. There are all sorts of other ways that you can try and help yourself to have that good rest, and that will help with relationships and intimacy.